Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we are going to talk about Exhuma. Not eczema, Exhuma. Written and directed by Jang Jae-hyun. It's the highest grossing Korean film of the year so far. It is also a supernatural horror film about an attempted exhumation and relocation of a corpse that ends up accidentally unleashing a entity that threatens not only the main characters, but also all of Korea. It's also currently available on Shudder, so if you're not subscribed to Shudder, you might want to if you want to check out this movie. So there you go. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, this movie is about a shaman, a feng shui master, a mortician, and a shaman's apprentice who all team up together in order to help a rich guy remove the curse that his family has had for generations, and it's currently infecting his infant son, which requires them to find the source of the curse, which seems to be his grandfather's grave.
Yep.
Which is on top of a mountain, alone, isolated, where it really shouldn't be, surrounded by foxes for some reason.
Which is explained.
And they must remove his corpse, and they must either put it in a different location that is less cursed, or they gotta burn the corpse in order to remove the curse. That's what this movie starts off being about. About halfway through, it takes a twist in a different direction that we'll talk about in the spoiler section.
Yeah. One thing that's most interesting about this film is that we've been watching a lot of movies where the monster is way less literal and way more metaphorical. This one, it's like, oh no, the monster's real. A movie that would be very, very easy to compare this to is The Wailing.
Yes.
But in The Wailing, you don't see a literal monster.
Not the way you do in this.
Not the way you do in this.
No.
This is like a fucking creature comes out, it's like, yo ho ho, you know?
Yeah. There's a point where this movie basically becomes Friday the 13th with a thing. Not the thing, but a thing in the movie that I can't tell you what it is because that's spoilers.
Yeah, that's the spoiler, yeah. But if you are a fan of anime that's got monsters in it, or you love Asian cinema in general, this is a must watch.
Oh yeah, this movie is perfection. The cast is great. The characters are wonderful and I adore them and I want nothing bad to happen to them.
Yeah, well, the one that took me the longest to recognize was the actor who played Old Boy as the feng shui master.
Yeah, the main character from Old Boy, the villain from I Saw the Devil.
Yeah.
And the villain from Lucy. The villain from Lucy.
Oh, yeah.
He plays the feng shui master in this. And I didn't recognize him because it's been a long time since those movies and he's gotten a lot older.
Yeah.
And a lot stockier.
Yeah. He's heavier these days.
So I didn't recognize him until I watched it the second time, and I'm like, holy shit, I know that face.
Yeah.
Wait, where do I know that face? Am I deja vuing the previous watch of this movie, or am I deja vuing something else?
We're kind of used to seeing him with facial hair.
He's also playing such a categorically kind, nice, gentle person.
Yeah.
Complete 180 from the roles I was used to seeing him in.
Yeah, because we don't know what Old Boy was like before the movie starts.
Exactly.
But when the movie starts, it's like, no, that guy's, he's crazy.
It's all about vengeance and he's lost his mind.
Yeah.
So. The other thing that you might find is similar to The Wailing is there's a lot of shamanistic rituals in this.
Very specifically Korean shamanism. Yeah. This is one of the places where the movie gets ultra interesting. I don't know as much about South Korean or even Korean shamanism as I do Japanese and Chinese or even the areas around Thailand.
If it's anything like this movie, apparently Korean rituals are metal as fuck.
Yeah. You kill a lot of fucking animals and you light a lot of things on fire while you scream.
And cover yourself in the blood and the dirt. While cutting things.
Guys are banging on drums and shit.
Yeah,
and I'm like, holy crap.
Jesus Christ, this is the most metal fucking thing I've seen next to an actual metal concert.
Yeah. I'm used to the other cultures, which are a little bit more, they could still involve animal sacrifices, but they're a little bit more chill.
Yeah, and the thing that blew my mind about it was that ritual, the first one we see, the one with all the animal cutting and the blood and stuff, that's not to exorcise a demon. That's not to exorcise the curse. That ritual is specifically to distract the curse so they could remove the corpse from the grave.
Yeah, if you don't do this, the evil spirits will know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then, the whole thing's for naught. So this whole thing is you throw this big, loud fire party, offer them pig's blood, and everything just to be like, hey, why'd you keep don't pay attention to what's happening over there.
And each pig is to distract whatever the curse is from harming the people actually digging the grave.
Yeah, exactly. And when they exhume it, they shout the Korean word for exhumation.
Yeah.
Exhumation!
Yep.
Because you have to say that.
Yep.
Otherwise, I don't know what's supposed to happen, but it's clearly a cultural thing that's what you do.
Which is some of the most interesting stuff in the movie.
Oh, it is.
Some of the culture-specific stuff. But the thing that really drives this movie, the horror stuff is great. Like when the creature shows up, when the fucking curse is going on, when people are being attacked by ghosts randomly. That shit is great. But what I really love...
It almost turns into Ninja Scroll.
I know.
What the fuck?
But what I love about this movie is I love these characters.
Yes.
The Feng Shui Master is awesome. I could see a million movies of him and his friends exhuming corpses and finding random entities.
Oh, yes.
I could see an entire series of movies of just these people, the way they do with The Conjuring, but these people are way cooler.
Being fictional helps, first of all.
Yes.
I
love the shaman. She's just such a badass. And I love the way that she's just so we're going to help your baby or whatever, but we're also here for the money.
Yeah. That was one of the things I found really good. They're very serious about their art and their craft, but when it's just them, it's just sort of all right, how much are we getting paid for this again?
She's going to get that bag. She cares about the human element, but she's going to get that bag.
Yeah. She's going to get that bag.
Her assistant is very nice and adorable. I like that guy. He's cool.
Yeah.
But the mortician, his relationship with the Feng Shui Master, they're kind of like old Asian man romance.
Yeah, they're old Asian man, partnership.
Yeah. I love those two.
Yeah.
It's not quite on buddy cop levels, but it's close.
Yeah, because the mortician is the skeptic.
Yeah.
But he's a skeptic in that kind of old Asian guy way where it's I think a lot of this is ridiculous, but I think the shamanism is more ridiculous than the geomancy. That's real.
Yeah. He's also low-key studying Christianity throughout the movie.
Yes.
So he's a skeptic, but he does have a belief.
Yeah.
But he's also one of those people where it's just I'm a skeptic, but I'm still not going to spill this salt. That's bad luck.
Exactly. Exactly.
He's still that
which is really Asian. That is a common Asian personality trait to be I'm a skeptic. Look, motherfucker says don't whistle at night when you're going across the res. You don't do that shit. What are you doing?
And the Feng Shui Master, I love that guy. Those moments where it's just this is a really nice hotel location. He just can't help himself but comment on the feng shui of things.
Yes. Yeah, because he's always doing it,
It's super endearing. The writing in these characters, their relationships, their friendships, it all felt real and tangible. And that, to me, sells the movie above everything else. Even when the effects get a little iffy.
Yeah.
The relationship with the characters make you emotionally invested in the moments.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. Don't worry. There is a good, 10, 15-minute fucking fight scene that just goes balls to the wall.
Oh god, yeah, the finale of this movie is wild. It's worth the price of admission alone. Them just trying to outsmart this thing is great. And using every trick they have in their shaman, feng shui, mortician books.
Yeah. I was not expecting that.
Yep.
I was not expecting it. I thought it was going to be it's happening and there's a lot of wind and occasionally you see a ghost and shit like that. You don't expect an actual monster to show up.
I thought at most it was going to be The Wailing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when this...
no, he's possessed. We gotta fight him, And
then when shit, for lack of a better way of putting it, got real in the second half, I was oh my god, this movie's going there. All right, strap in.
Yeah. And it kind of gets across the difference of what they mean by ghost or evil spirit and what we mean by ghost and evil spirit. your head.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. When they say it, they're like, oh no, that thing's gonna eat your head off.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. So anyway, my fellow Gorehounds, like I said earlier, this movie's currently available on Shudder. If you want to watch it, go subscribe to Shudder and check it out. We are going to move on to the spoilers, though, because there's a lot of fun stuff that happens in the last half of this movie that I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
So with that said, let us move on to the spoilers. So the corpse is actually located right on the border of North and South Korea. But what they discover after they remove the corpse, and one of the diggers kills a fucking snake with a lady head.
Yeah, wait, that's not Korean, that's Japanese.
Yeah, that's a Japanese spirit.
He kills the snake neck woman.
Yeah.
And they're all these foxes, but they don't use the Korean word for them. They use the Japanese word for them.
When that fucking guy stabs the snake and it screamed with that woman's voice, I got chills.
Oh, jeez.
That was freaky. The spirit of the grandfather starts going apeshit and attacking the other family members and killing them off one by one, and they must stop it. Now, mind you, this is just the first half of the movie. When they actually do stop his corpse, there's a second half of the movie to go. But they discover that he was a Japanese sympathizer during the occupation. Japanese occupation of Korea.
Yes.
Japan was very imperialist at one point.
Yes.
They occupied a lot of areas.
Yeah, yeah.
And that he was buried there because he had a potential treasure buried with him from that occupation that many people were trying to steal from his grave, so he was moved to this location.
Yeah.
After he goes ninja scroll on his family members and just slaughters them one by one, they do stop him before he gets to the baby, at least.
Yeah.
They find out that the digger who killed the snake woman, he is still experiencing a curse, unlike the original family. So the feng shui master, curious about all this, goes back to the gravesite to try to see if there's something they missed.
Yeah.
And what he discovers is that underneath the initial grave, there was another grave. A coffin stuck upright underneath.
It's a coffin stuck upright. It's 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
It is held together by barbed chain.
Whatever they did to this fucking coffin was to keep something in, not keep people out.
Yeah. And whoa, man.
Yeah.
If you're using that kind of wood to hold something, there is something in there.
Yup. Whatever's inside that fucking coffin bursts out. It turns out to be a demonic version of an old Japanese general from the occupation.
Yes.
Who's been turned into a spirit, a monster.
Yeah.
An Oni.
An Oni, a demon.
Yeah.
You know?
He's got little horns. His face is all red. He's 12 feet tall.
Yeah. And he's in samurai armor.
Yeah, he's in samurai armor. And he can possess people. But when they're possessed by him, he can still be himself.
Yeah.
He can turn into a ball of fire and fly around.
Yes. I wasn't expecting that. He literally erupts into fire and flies up into the sky and flies around burning shit before he lands back.
I thought the ritual was metal as fuck. And then this guy showed up and I'm like, this is the most metal fucking monster ever.
Yeah.
And he just fucking will rip people's heads off. He gives no fucks.
Yeah.
So he possesses the shaman's protege, which means that they have to stop him now.
Yeah.
There's also an indication that if they don't stop him, he might just keep killing people every night, so...
Yeah, because his whole purpose is to wait there until the Emperor calls him again to once again conquer Korea.
So the finale of this movie is these characters pulling every trick they possibly can. For example, the shaman tries to trick the spirit into believing she is the spirit of the forest by covering this ancient old tree with smoke. And it only works for so long until they can keep digging in the grave and find a metal spike that is going to kill the Oni.
Yeah, because it's the spike that keeps him there.
Spoilers, they find out that the spike doesn't actually exist because it's already inside the Oni. It's literally what's keeping its head attached to its body.
Yeah.
This ultimately culminates in the feng shui master realizing that because the metal spike's been in it the whole time, it has become one with the metal.
With the metal, yes.
So in order to harm it, metal's not going to work. That's why they haven't been able to hurt it this entire time. He has to use his feng shui expertise to do the opposite of metal, which is wet wood. He covers a fucking plank with his own blood and starts beating the Oni with it. Metal as fuck.
Yeah.
Cuts the Oni in half. And that's how they defeat the Oni. It's fucking awesome.
Mustier's magic, you know?
This movie rules. Holy shit. I can see why. It's the highest grossing movie in Korea this year. This movie's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, it's a ride. Man, no, so good.
I love the shaman sisters.
Yes.
The shaman has sisters. She alludes to them earlier in the movie, and then when her protege gets possessed, they are called in to watch over the protege while he's in the hospital because he's possessed and they don't want him like hurting himself or hurting anyone else.
Right.
And the sisters are also shamans.
Yeah. They've all been initiated, but only the one sister does it professionally.
Yeah, and I love them getting together and like luring the spirit out to talk to it to get more information. The way they lure the fucking spirit out is by gossiping about the delicious food they're cooking.
Yeah. That's something that's actually very common in Asian culture. It's like that's one of the things you can do.
It's like, oh, I hear Marge is going to the market. She's gonna get some delicious fish. It's
you know, in particular, the fish this time of year that come from the bay are especially juicy.
And I love that strategy comes back later in the movie when the feng shui master is in a coma and they're all eating the most delicious food they can to try to like wake him up from the coma with the smells. It's like, oh, don't you want to get up? We have this delicious rice.
Dumplings.
We have pizza.
He's just like,
God, I love this movie, and my heart was warmed when the feng shui master actually made it to his daughter's. Wedding.
yeah, because the entire time he keeps worried
talking about
making it to this wedding.
That's the example of like a small character detail that has nothing to do with the actual plot, but tells you a lot about the character.
Yeah,
this is just a really fucking good movie. Like everything about it is great. The only criticism I can even give it is that sometimes the effects in the last half are a little wonky, but like not to the point where they take you out of the movie.
No. When you have a trained eye, you notice.
Yeah, well, especially if you're dealing with fire. Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like, okay, you didn't actually set that on fire.
Like, you know, if the guy has to turn into fire and you have to composite some fire on top of him, sometimes you can notice the tricks.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, still really impressed with the number of times you couldn't see those scenes.
Oh, agreed. For the most part, the movie's pretty seamless. And I also like the practical effects of the Oni's face.
Yeah.
With like, and sometimes they even had like a puppet head that was obviously moving around.
Yeah.
So needless to say, Exhuma is a fantastic film. You should absolutely check it out. And do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, dude, watch it. Just watch it. It's so fun.
And with that said, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Oh, you can find me here on YouTube on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Tuesdays and Thursdays on Twitch, also at 7 Pacific Standard Time. And if you want to follow me on social media, on Twitter, I am Counting Jack. And on Blue Sky, I am Count Jackula. Blue Sky. Blah, 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 blah. Just look for Count Jackula. My icon is a beautiful little cartoon that someone did of me running away with a red mohawk saying, "Run, the future is fucked." What about you?
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, even if you go $1 a month, it can go a long way. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, if you made it this far into the video, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag SnakeLady. Use the hashtag SnakeLady, that way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the whole world knows that you are fucked.
Yeah, you cut off the head of a snake woman and now you got the Japanese evil Oni general curse.
You're screwed.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to start learning feng shui.
Yeah. Call your local feng shui master or Chinese sorcerer. I am available, by the way, also for children's parties in case they need blessing. I can do the ritual of many things where we can determine the proper path for the child to take according to the feng shui of the when and the now and the where you are, and you can give me lots of money for it. That's the part I really love about that racket.
And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, peace out, and I'll catch y'all later.
Yeah. Bust out the coin sword, man.
Coin sword! Ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. Does it make Mario noises?
It probably should.
I think it should.
It probably should. It should make Mario noises. You know?